first got here, there were a few pastors and priests and religious members that tried to visit the facility. And my dad told me that it was best that they didn't go in there because then they would believe that only hell was real.
Back in March 2026, I visited Alligator Alcatraz, buried deep in the Everglades in Florida. And almost right away, the guards turned me around. But just outside the detention center, there was a big vigil of family members and supporters. And I spoke with a few of the people who have loved ones detained inside. And so this is the second of those conversations with Arianne Betancourt. Her father, who has been in this country for 37 years, has been inside Alligator Alcatraz for more than 4 months. And a while back, a group called the Workers' Circle had invited Arianne to one of these weekly vigils. And before long, she herself was organizing these vigils for the Workers' Circle. So you'll hear her describe the inhumane conditions as she understands them inside the detention center, and also how she decided to speak out when so many family members are afraid of retaliation against their loved ones inside. Take a listen. What got you involved in this?
So the Miramar Circle of Protection, it's a group of volunteers outside of the Miramar check-in court. They invited me to the first vigil a few days, the day that my dad was detained. They told me about the vigils, and I just came because I just wanted to connect with other families in this situation. And I figured, hey, I'm not the only one. There are other peoples. If they're hosting these vigils, there are more people in this situation. And I think maybe if we connect, then I kind of have a better idea what my dad is going to be facing inside of Alligator Alcatraz.
Now, so is your dad still detained?
Yes.
And how long has he been there?
He's been there since October 29th.
Wow. And we're now in March 2026.
My dad's been in the country for 37 years. I was a full-time tour guide before all of this happened. Now I work full-time with the Workers' Circle. I'm the South Florida Community Catalyst, so I do help organize the vigils. People need to know that whatever they are seeing online about the conditions of Alligator Alcatraz, the reality is much worse. Things that these people are being subjected to is not just physical torture, it's also emotional, it's mental. There are absolutely zero human rights. It's a complete violation of human rights. And for families like mine, who the information is out there, the news coverage is out there. I mean, the amount of calls that family members make to 911 and try to say, hey, my family member is in this detention center, and they feel like they're having a heart attack, they have heart problems, and they're like, hey, that's out of our jurisdiction, there's nothing we can do, but that's on record. He's seen people die in front of him.
You call it a concentration camp, which a lot of people do describe it as.
Yeah, by definition, historically, I mean, you're putting people in cages and depriving them of medical care, of clean water, of enough food for them to survive and eat. You're denying them their medications. You're coercing them into forcing themselves to go to a third country, to have a third country deportation, because they're just so tired of being tortured in there. People are moved in and out on a constant basis. People get moved out in the middle of the night. So there's no accurate number of people that are there.
And has your dad moved around other detention centers?
So my dad was here in Chrome. They took him to El Paso. They drove him to Mexico. They took him into Mexico, where they forced him to cross the border. Mexico did not accept his entry. They put him back on a plane and brought him back to Alligator Alcatraz.
Why do the detainees, or why do you think that they're doing that? Why are they moving them so many times?
To make it difficult for families like ours to be able to help our family members. If you move someone who has legal paperwork pending, and then what happens now? You paid an attorney in Florida, but now this person's in Louisiana, so you lost your money, and then you can't really help them. So it's putting all of us between a rock and a hard place.
It's probably impossible for you to know, but I do wonder, do you think that they're trying to just make life difficult enough that people will sign papers to
exactly
self-deport?
What they're doing.
Yeah.
Because the ones that are physically taking it, they have to break down mentally. I mean, my dad's been there 4 months, and there was a period of time there in the middle where I was generally concerned for his mental state. So when he first got here, there were a few pastors and priests and religious members that tried to visit the facility. And my dad told me that it was best that they didn't go in there, because then they would believe that only hell was real. And I cry and I hurt, but I have a sense of responsibility now being out here, and our efforts here have taken me and some of the families all the way to DC, where we were able to sit in at the Christine Ohm hearing. So it's just a matter of coming together, standing up, and continuing to fight for what's right. Most people are too afraid to speak up because they're afraid of retaliation towards their family members. And so whatever it is that we know as family members, I know my dad's only giving me a percentage of what's really happening in there to try to save my feelings. But I do have access to the internet, so I'm hearing what other families are saying. And I have to have uncomfortable conversations with him sometimes. Do you know, hey, I heard X, Y, and Z. Do you know if this is happening to you too? And he has to kind of tell me. And it's difficult for, I think, as a father, to have to tell your children that you are breaking down as a man and losing hope, and for your children to have to take that responsibility and say, no, we're gonna get this done, you're gonna be okay, you have to have hope.
We're here in the Everglades, and do you think it's a bit out of sight, out of mind intentionally? Like they put this here in part so that even if people know what they see in headlines, they're not paying attention.
Most people believe it's closed. Most people believe Alligator Alcatraz is closed. And most people believe that there's no access here. And I mean, if you look behind us, like, there are hundreds of people here week for week. And most of us already know each other because we are here all the time. We've created friendships and bonds and relationships. And we've connected with other families. And we're here week per week, but we've all it's a network of support. So I think in times like this, I don't think many people expected, if they thought if they put enough fear in them, everyone's going to stay quiet and stay put. But a lot of us have decided we're going to come out here, we're going to stand up for what we believe, we're going to stand for immigrants, we're going to stand for human rights, we're going to stand for dignity, and we're here every week.
Every week.
Every week.
So how long has this been happening?
33 weeks.
33 weeks. And you have a good turnout. So even if this is
rain,
far
shine,
away from Miami or other cities on the other side of the state.
I drive an hour and a half every Sunday.
Yeah. Do you think they will shut this place down?
Oh, they will. They have to. And then every single person who is involved with every single violation of human rights that happens in this detention center and others across America will have to pay for what they did.
The American taxpayer who's paying in the future for those lawsuits, and now for here, I saw the headlines this past week. Not even the U.S. taxpayers, the Florida taxpayers, I saw are going to pay like $1 billion for this.
Just want people to know, liking things on Facebook, sharing things on Instagram, being anti-ICE, it's all wonderful, but we need to have more people on the ground showing that we the people are not happy, and that we the people demand change, and we demand accountability, and we demand our elected officials to do what is in the Constitution.
And you can do that even if you cannot get to Florida and you live somewhere else in the country.
Yeah, there on freedomvigils.org you can find different events that we have all over the U.S. Working Circle is working with lots of different interfaith groups and organizations throughout the U.S. to host these vigils outside of detention centers. Come out here, join the cause. If you look at the crowd, it's mostly people who have been doing the same work for 60 years. So it's on us, the children of immigrants and the youth in America, to stand up for our rights.